The politeness pronouns. In Romanian, the politeness pronouns represent a subclass of personal pronouns, and they're used to express, well, politeness. And the most used one is dumneavoastră, 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 and the shorter form in written is this dvs dot dvs dvs dvs, and this is being used with the verb in the form of the second person plural. So, for instance, you say dumneavoastră vedeți instead of dumneavoastră vezi. This is not correct. Dumneavoastră vedeți, you see. And dumneavoastră has the same form for singular and plural. Okay, and let's have the feminine example. Okay, dumneaei, dumneaei, which is she, dumneaei. And if you want to be even more polite, for instance, if you're talking about I don't know, some really important political figure or someone like that, you can say domnia ei, domnia ei, or domnia sa, domnia sa. The masculine form for he is dumnealui, dumnealui, and if you want to be even more polite, you can say domnia lui, domnia lui, or domnia sa, which is identical to the feminine form. And for they, you can say dumnealor, dumnealor. But again, if you want to be even more polite, you can say domniile lor, domniile lor. The possessive personal pronouns indicate that the pronouns are acting as markers of possession, and they define who owns particular objects and persons or persons. And let's have a look at their forms. The first case, in which there is one possessed object and one possessor, we have firstly the masculine and the neutral forms. And let's have a look at the form for the first person. Al meu, al meu, mine. For the second person, al tău, al tău, yours. And for the third person, al său, al său. Also can be used for his and for hers. It has the same form. But if you want to be more specific, you can say al lui, or for hers, you can say al ei, al ei. The feminine form for the first person, a mea, a mea, a mea, mine. For the second person, a ta, a ta, a ta, yours. And for the third person, a sa, a sa, which can mean his or hers, a lui, his, and a ei, which means hers. For one possessed object and more possessors, we have firstly the masculine and the neutral forms. Let's start again with the first person. Al nostru, ours. For the second person, al vostru, yours. And for the third person, al lor, which means theirs. And for the feminine forms, the first person, a noastră, ours. For the second person, a voastră, yours. And for the third person, a lor, theirs. For more possessed objects and one possessor, we have the following masculine forms. For the first person, ai mei, mine. For the second person, ai tăi, yours. And for the third person, ai săi, which can mean both his and hers. Ai lui, his. And ai ei, which means hers. Let's move on to the feminine and the neutral forms. For the first person, ale mele, mine. For the second person, ale tale, yours. And for the third person, ale sale, which can mean his or hers. Ale lui, his. And ale ei, which means hers. And finally, for more possessed objects and more possessors, we have the following masculine forms. For the first person, ai noștri, ours. For the second person, ai voștri, yours. And for the third person, ai lor, theirs. And let's have a look at the feminine and the neutral forms. For the first person, ale noastre, ours. For the second person, ale voastre, ale voastre, ale voastre, yours. And for the third person, ale lor, ale lor, ale lor, theirs.